So I appreciate Garrett. Garrett serves us well, as always. But thank you, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you taking time out of your day and sharing it with us. One of the things I just want to mention as you're coming in here, if you've been here before, just the branding that's going on within our stadium and our training facility. It's pretty awesome as you come in here. One of the things I think U of L does tremendously well is brand. And the building in itself and the stadium is awesome, but as you come in here and you start seeing the branding, it takes it to a whole new level. So I just wanted to mention that aspect of it. Preseason, you could hear it in my voice, a little bit of the coaching voice, and we're excited. We're excited because of the group of guys we have. First and foremost, we really like the spirit of this group. The energy, their approach to every single training. I'll say here right now, we are absolutely not a finished product right now. But what I know is the mentality that they're bringing every single day to training is encouraging, it's inspiring, and creates a sense of hope for the season. We have a wonderful mix of some very talented returning players as well as some newcomers that we think that will help us, some right away, some probably later in the season, and some maybe not until next season or the season after. But all of them, again, come in with the energy. One of the things that is an indication, if you saw the last game, our first group being a little bit worn from preseason, probably played a little bit less than inspired soccer in the first 50, 60 minutes of it. And our second group, made up of a lot of newcomers and freshmen, came in and because of their energy absolutely changed the game for us. So we have a dynamic there that with the group that we're excited about the direction we're heading. We had an experience this past spring that I talked about at our banquet recently. That we got a chance to go to Madrid, Spain, and we had a lot of wonderful, exciting experiences there, that life-changing experiences. There was one in particular, we got to see a Champions League game between Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen. And as you can expect, we wanted to get there early, so the bus drops us off probably about a mile from the stadium. And as soon as we got off the bus, the complexity changed completely. You could feel the energy even a mile away that was happening within the stadium. And as we made our way to the stadium, the energy grew, the excitement grew. Our guys ended up stopping at all the shacks and tents to throw Atletico paraphernalia, the scarves and hats. They almost became an Atletico fan just in a mile walk to the stadium. But what happened inside was, for me, and I think for a lot of the guys, almost life-changing, in that we saw an event on the field where the players played in such a way that there was a communion between the players and the people that were there. That the players played in a way that each and every play, the fans celebrated what they did on the field. And there was a collective effort on both parts between what was going on the field and what was going on in the stands that touched me. And we continue to talk through the spring and even through preseason that our hope for us this season is we play in a way that inspires a celebration from the fans, that we play in a way that inspires each other, that we play in a way that is representative not only of our program, the athletic department, the university, but also the city of Louisville. And with this group, again, I know we are not a finished product right now, have a ton of potential, but most importantly, we feel very, very good about the spirit of the group, the mentality of the group, and the direction we're heading.
Coach, last year there was a lot of talk about how this facility would aid the program in terms of exposure and recruiting. And so my question is, were you able to bring in players that might not have previously been available to U of L because of, or did you have access to recruits that you might not previously have been able to
Yes, we are getting more access to players and more attention simply because of the facility, the stadium, and what we have here. Certainly, recruits are more likely going to visit us than ever before. And with that, now just getting them on campus and the feel, especially now with the branding, the emotional, it's like, sitting in a new car of that feel, that it does have a significant impact. It has had a small impact on this class, but I would expect as we continue to go, have a greater and greater impact the more that we get on campus. Because what we find is that for those kids that come and visit, even if they don't come to school here, what we know for sure is they're going back to their clubs, they're going back to their high schools, and they're spreading the word for us. And that helps tremendously in the recruiting process. Well, I think for the good of soccer, it absolutely helps. The more people that get excited, the more people that show up to watch a game of soccer, it's good for soccer in general, and whether that's pro soccer, college soccer, or youth soccer. When we want to continue to grow our fan base, we want to grow it through people primarily that have an excitement about the game and want to come out and watch. And I think for Louisville City, what it does is continue that momentum all the year long and grows that group. So it certainly helps for sure.
Talk about the strength of this team and how many new faces, or how many faces will we recognize, I guess?
Well, I think some of the ones that you'll see today that will come before you, guys like Tim Kubel, who came on the scene as a freshman last year, and tremendously exciting player as a outside back, as a defender, getting forward and being our leading scorer. He'll play a massive part in it. Ben Strong, who was an first team ACC player last year, will also be a significant. And then guys like Romy. Romy, I think, was perhaps the most the player on our team that was least recognized within the league, and he was clearly one of our best guys all season long. He does a lot of the dirty work and is such a good leader for us on the field. He'll play a massive part in what we're doing. And then, Andrew Brody being another one who is just electric watching him play. He's so exciting. We as coaches, we like watching him because of how dynamic he is as a player. And I think those guys, will play a major role. The other guy I would mention is Mike DeGraffenright, who in the back also is very solid, now experienced for us, and will play a leadership role as well. A lot of newcomers as well. I think transferred from Maryland, Daniel Johnson will have an impact. Also up top, a freshman, Tate Schmidt, has been very good in preseason. And another freshman from England, Danny Reynolds, has done very, very well. So those are some of the names I think that will play a significant role in our season.
Talk about the schedule and how difficult it is, and then on the side of that with Stanford, is it next weekend, I believe, coming in, and having a guy on the national team with Jordan Morris, how important that is. I mean, it should be a great crowd, and it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'll try to hit them all. Those are a lot of questions in one. The schedule, first and foremost, it is a great schedule. It may be the hardest schedule we have when you looked at how many teams made the NCAA tournament last year and coming in. Key for us is starting the season well. We're very, very pleased that we have a lot of home games early. And with this group in particular of having the friendly confines of Lynn, it is so important that we have an early start. And one of the things that we would say to the fans of how important it is that they come out early and support us. But between the ACC opponents and the games that we have, like Stanford and St. Louis and Kentucky and teams that have been NCAA tournament teams, it is a good and exciting, especially home schedule. You mentioned Stanford coming in. Stanford is bringing in a national team player, and not a youth national team player. They're bringing in Jordan Mars, who has played significant minutes for the full national team. And what is a great story about him is that he's coming back to college. and probably at a point where college soccer is taking some hits for not developing players, both from the MLS and U.S. Soccer. Their point being is that our season is not long enough, that we're not doing enough to develop players. I think this is a great statement for college soccer. And not only are we producing somebody that can play for the full national team, but he's so content with that development that he's decided to come back to college and continue his career and not pursue a professional career yet. So I think not only having him here, but that statement of Jordan Morris actually still being at Stanford and playing college soccer is wonderful for all of college soccer. I would expect that would help the crowd coming out of not only being at Stanford, but he's going to be here as well.